On today's episode of Sisterly Stories, we meet Gemma Williams. Gemma is the embodiment of what it means to rise against all odds. She has many stories to share with us, but on today's episode, she shares with us her journey of overcoming and healing from childhood sexual abuse. There is so much for us to take away from Gemma's story. One key point for me is a reminder for us as parents to listen to our children, especially in this time where many of us are seeking babysitters or family or friends to look after our children while we're away at work because of the changes that the pandemic has caused. Parents, be careful. Parents, listen to your children. Sexual abuse is definitely one of those topics that we do not like to talk about as a nation and as a people. But we need to start having these most important conversations. Today, Gemma shares her story and also gives some very salient advice to parents.
Hello, my name is Gemma Williams. I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. I was molested from ages 5 to 14 years by both male and female, by family members and family friends. My first molester was a woman. She was my female babysitter. And I really want to point this out because so many people in our society think that, oh, men are disgusting, men are this, men are that, men are ooh, ooh, ooh. But you know what? What about the woman that exists in our society? Let's talk about that. Let's take off the energy from just men. And they deserve penalty, just as men. Okay? Women are not saints. They can destroy your child. They can take away your child's innocence. My female babysitter took away my innocence. I was 5 years old. She took me to the bathroom, and there it all happens. I want to ask you a question. Are you putting your head on the block for female? Because I know many of us do. We put our head on the block for female. Oh, my aunt will never do such a thing. My grandmother will never do such a thing. My sister will never do such a thing. But you know what? Your sister can destroy your own son. That's the reality. That's our reality. And we don't want to face reality because we want to protect abusers. Let's free the abusers so they can continue abuse more children. That's how our society is right now. Free abusers. But you know what? Us survivors of sexual abuse we are affected by what we went through. And speaking up our truth is what also set us free. But I want to say there's a huge difference with speaking our truth and working on our healing. We also got to work on our healing. As much as we want to speak our truth, we also got to work on our healing. Okay? I went to a traumatic experience I wish I never had. I was not only molested by my female babysitter, but I was also molested by my female cousin and a female neighbor. And these things happen here in Belize. We might say, oh my gosh, she's making that up. She wanted attention. No. These are things that we do not talk about. Because we want to live in taboo that things are perfect. Things only happen in the US. No. Here in our country is just as dangerous when it comes to children. And you gotta watch your kids. You gotta teach your kids. And you gotta believe your children. And that's the thing. We don't want to believe these children. We gotta start realize here in our society that people do not want to be abused. If they have previously experienced sexual abuse, they might be prone to that. They might be so vulnerable. And in my younger years, I went straight into self-sabotaging in whatever way I can. I wanted to give up on life. I wanted to destroy my life as much as possible. I hated my guts, because part of me blamed myself. And that's the issue when it comes to most of us survivors, that we blame ourselves. But it's not our fault. But society wants us to believe it's our fault, And it's pretty sad that many people do not understand sexual abuse survivors. But there's this thing, it's not their place to understand. But if we can find other people like ourselves who have been through it and not dismiss or minimize their story, but honor their story, then we can carry on with recovery. There are many men out there who are destroying lives, but they are also female. And I want to point out that in recovery from these traumas is not easy for me. It's totally not easy. Sometimes I want to give up. I truly want to give up. But there are so many other survivors out there who I hang on to, who encourage me, who I can relate to. They are my tribe. Many people saying, "Oh, stop sharing your story. Just forget about it already." No, don't listen to people like that. You might be helping their own children one day, or their grandchildren. So do not give your power away. You better own your power and share your story. And the way that I recover is by sharing my story. Everybody have different paths of recovery, and let no one dictate to you how you should recover from any form of abuse. You find your path. You do not come here to follow other people's path. You come here to find your path and share your gift. And if your gift is to share your story, you share away. If your gift is to do poetry, you go and pursue that. If your gift is to share arts, poems, anything, do gardening, what is your gift? Focus on your gift. Do not allow people to tell you what your gift should be. Dig deep within yourself and find out what that is. As a survivor of sexual abuse, it's now time to break the silence. And we gotta be proud of ourselves. So take care.
Let's talk. Leave your thoughts and comments below. And if you would love to share your story, please feel free to contact us.